Good evening, and welcome to Low Key. My name's Bing. I am the lay pastor for Recovery Ministry. We are coming to you as a live stream from the COVID quarantine studio of St. Luke's United Methodist Church. We are thrilled that you are here with us. We are continuing to provide Low Key, which is a service of recovery. It is a way for us to celebrate the gift that we have of recovery. It is indeed a gift. All of us who share that life and share a program and the diligent gift of working steps know just how much this is a gift of the grace of a power far beyond us. So we are thrilled to be here. We celebrate it using a universal language. And that universal language is music. And I am delighted to tell you tonight that the Low-Key Band, and I'm going to ask, before I introduce the band, because I occasionally talk to him, our engineer is Gregory. Yeah. Yes, and he deserves all of that. I hear you. I hear y'all out there giving great kudos and shouts and cheers to Gregg. How about a little of that crowd noise, Gregg? Come on, give it to us. Well deserved. Well deserved. So, Gregg, I want to tell you that I'm fixing to introduce the band. So you show these folks as I introduce them. I want folks to know the Low-Key Band tonight is. I don't know. Is this the first time for this particular quartet?
It's the second.
Second time.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe the second time, which means you're gonna get good, fresh stuff, right? On the guitar over here in vocals is Tony Cascio. Yeah. Back here hiding is not so much. There he is. There he is. The master of the basso profundo, Chris Ellis. And behind me over here, wrapping the skins, that'd be Cody Lowery.
Yes, sir.
The other half of this rhythm section. And over here, Jason Sepulvado, who is lead guitar and vocals, and we'll see whatever else. He might do a jig. I don't know. We'll see. Jason, we're glad you're here. This is, I think, the first time you've played at Low Key.
Yes, it is.
We're thrilled you're here with us and be a part of this. As I said, we celebrate with music because music is a universal language.
Yes, sir.
And we all have hearts and memories and just our spirits are touched with the gift of music. And so we are glad to God for these folks who have that gift and share it so generously. So if you're here, we believe you ought to be. If you want to, if you'll check in out there on Facebook, you can let other folks know that you're watching and they can follow that link and join in and be a part of this and experience this delight as well. If you want to contribute, because we are having to continue to find funding for this ministry, if you want to contribute, you have to go to the St. Luke's website, and that is at stluke'sumc.community. It's a weird website address, but that's what it is, and on that page there's a donate, and you just need to indicate that it is for Low Key. If you've got questions about that, you can use that same website, and you can send an email and ask, how do I do this, and we'll walk you through it. We're thrilled you're with us. We're thrilled the band is here, and I just pray that we'll all be able to gather up our spirits wherever we are so that we can celebrate at home, alone, together, because there is a miracle and a mystery that is us together. And that's what we're a part of. That's what we're in the midst of. And we're not just in the midst of a pandemic. We're in the midst of a celebration. So I invite you to share in it. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bing. Well, yeah, well, yeah, I've got we're going to start off with a little Slim Harpo song. I'm pretty sure Slim Harpo did it. It's called T9 New. Tina Nina new. Won't you love me? Oh, won't you hug me? Won't you squeeze me? Come on, baby, don't tease me. Tell me the truth. Are you my Tina Nina new? Come on, Jason. Strut your stuff, do the dog boogaloo, got the floor. Everybody is watching you. You're looking good, baby, and that's the truth. Tell me to do. Be my Tina Nina new. The floor, do the dog boogaloo. You got the floor. Everybody is watching you. You know you're looking good, darling, and that's the truth. And when you're through, and be my Tina Nina new. And when you're through, gonna be my Tina Nina new. When you're through, gonna be my Tina Nina new. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much.
So, good start. Let's see. That's kind of a standard for the AJ and yeah, Slim Harpo. So, again, thank y'all all for being here. Tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line. Tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line. Now tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. Woo! If you're sick, you want to get well, then tell him what you want. If you're sick and you want to get well, just tell him what you want. If you're sick and you want to get well, tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. Somebody tell him with 6 strings. Come on. Jason Sepulvado. busy, so just tell him what you want. The line ain't never busy, but tell him what you want. The line ain't never busy, so just tell him what you want. Call him up, tell him what you want. You want to take a ride, Tony? Go, Tony. Tell him what you want. If you're feeling all alone, well, just tell him what you want. If you're feeling all alone, tell him what you want. Call him up, tell him what you want. Sing along now. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, now tell him what you want. Call him up, tell him what you want. 2 times, get out of this. But just call him up, tell him what you want. I say call him up, tell him what you want. Woo! Awesome, awesome. Oh. Right back in it. Sounds like a festival gig. Yeah. All right. It just crossed my mind, you know, so much of what we're experiencing right now during all that's going on. There is a lot of loneliness. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of uncertainty. We need a lot, and we need to tell what we want. One way to do that, of course, is in that whatever form you pray. Whatever way you ask the universal conspiracy of grace to bring that grace and a blessing to you, do that. But the other way is to pick up the phone. There are hundreds of people that you know that would be thrilled, blessed, and will give to you that same gift if you'll just pick up the phone and call. Do not stay apart. Stay connected. And we have unimaginable ways to stay connected. This service tonight is one of those. The fact that we can sit in this room and you can sit in your room with your Cheetos or whatever it is you're munching on, then this is a remarkable opportunity. So I just want to encourage you, whatever you need, pick up the phone. Tell somebody what you want. No doubt in my mind that heartfelt request will be answered in ways we can't yet imagine. So, thank you, band.
This is an old Otis Rush tune, redone by several people, Fleetwood Mac being one of them, but it's called It Takes Time. Little by little, watch my love flow down, yeah. Whoa, whoa. You know what it means to be alone. Yeah, today you're laughing, darling, but tomorrow you could be crying. Live for the day you leave your morals all alone. You gotta try to make it all home, baby. Whoa, whoa. tomorrow you could be crying. Wind is bound to fade away, yeah. Whoa, whoa. You know what it means to be alone. Yeah, the day you're laughing, darling, but tomorrow you could be all alone. You off of my mind, little by little, watch my love flow down, yeah. Whoa, whoa, you know what it means to be alone. Yeah, today you're laughing, darling, but tomorrow you could be crying. Yeah, today you're laughing, darling, but tomorrow you could be crying. Yeah, today you're laughing, darling, but tomorrow you could be crying.
Thank you. So some people know electronics and some people don't. Thank you, Gregg. We are taking a look, as we do every week, at one of the 12 steps of 12-step recovery programs. And we have come to step 12. Step 12 states, if I can get this right, having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Like the two that go before it, are steps that are clearly everyday steps. When we come to this point in our recovery program, when we have worked our way through making peace with ourselves, making peace with God, making peace with our fellows, we then embark on a life. But it's not a life that we live because we have finished it and got the certificate. It is a life that is constant and it is unending. Indeed, it takes a lifetime. It takes a lifetime for us to grow to the point where we can, most of the time, practice these principles. So just taking a look, I want to suggest that not unlike step 6, this is one of those check-in steps. It says, having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, which means that I have to ask myself, have I had that spiritual awakening? Is there a psychic change that has been given to me and enables me to see the world through different eyes? Do I see from a spiritual perspective? Do I see my fellows, even my enemies, in a different light? In the same way in which I can ask, do I see myself in a different light? That spiritual awakening is critical for us to be immersed in the work that is practicing these principles in all our affairs. Now, it is often said that service is the spiritual principle of step 12, and I believe that it is one. Indeed, service is clear in what it suggests when it says we tried to carry this message that we know from our own experience of the solution to our alcoholism and our addiction. We carry this message to alcoholics. I know in the current situation that we're in and the way in which we are unable to be with one another and be in those places where we might usually come across someone with whom we could share this message. I want to suggest to anybody that's looking for a way to serve, the central office has every day someone who has a telephone that will answer the hotline, which is a 24/7 hotline. If you want to carry this message, even during a pandemic when we have stay-at-home orders, then you can sign up and you can contact Lisa at the central office, and I'm sure she will put you in touch with whoever is responsible for this week or the week ahead in signing up folks to do that work. It is good work, and indeed it is necessary work. Indeed, it is life-saving work for those who call and need someone that will listen, someone that will answer when they are in their moment of desperation. But not only is service a principle of this particular step, but compassion. If we are to practice these principles in all our affairs, we use these principles to guide our choices, our words, our actions. We use these principles to guide everything that we do. And I know that as we begin, I'm not good at it. Some of them I do better than others. Some I don't do well at all. But it is practice because we practice these principles. And it's just like the prayer that we have started from the very beginning. The first prayer that we prayed was help. I don't know what to do. That prayer was answered, and every prayer since has been a prayer that we have been practicing, learning, growing in our ability to pray. We also practice these principles. And every time we use an opportunity that is given to us to follow one of these principles, it's practice. It won't be perfect. It will be directly guided. It will be in the right direction. And our intention will be honored by that higher power which in fact makes it possible. And if we practice, well, you know the adage, practice makes progress. Not perfection. Practice makes progress. And that is the key to our sobriety and the key to our life in recovery. That we are open to spiritual progress. And we continue to seek it, and we continue to grow in our progress at every opportunity. That's all I know about step 12. And I pray that where you are and what you're doing, that you may know that your opportunity is a God-given opportunity to share this message and to practice these principles. Because your sober life is a gift. It's a gift from God to you, but it's a gift from God through you to this whole world. And this world needs the gift of your life. It needs what you can offer in compassion and grace. So I ask you, will you surrender to the life that God gives to you so that you can be that blessing you are created to be? It will be for all of us great joy. Thank you.
We'll see if we can get Mr. Jason Sepulvado to do one for us. Yeah. You got anything in your bag?
I would like to do a slow blues. Can we do a slow blues? Oh, absolutely. I would love to. In the key of A. Slow blues in the key of A. 1, 2, 3. One day at a time, Lord Jesus. That's all I'm ever asking of you. I said one day at a time, Lord Jesus. That's all I'm ever asking of you. Lord, give me the strength to say what I mean and mean everything I do. Yesterday is gone, Lord Jesus. And you know tomorrow may never be mine. Yesterday is gone, Lord Jesus. And tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, give me the strength to say what I mean. Mean everything I do, yeah. Come on.
That's all I'm ever asking of you. Yes, one day at a time, Lord Jesus. That's all I'm ever asking of you. Lord, give me the strength to say what I mean, and to mean each and everything that I do. Jason Sepulvado. He sure had one in his pocket.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's Christy Lynn right there. Christy Lane. Okay. Y'all get it off how well this speaking.
I got my mojo working, but it just don't work on you. Well, I got my mojo working, but it just don't work on you. Lord, I want to love you so bad that I don't know what else to do. I'm going down Louisiana, gets me a mojo here. Going down Louisiana, it gets me a mojo here. I love you so bad that I don't know what else to do. Hey, I got my mojo working. I got my mojo working. Well, I got my mojo working. Well, I got my mojo working. Well, I got my mojo working, but it just don't seem to work on you. Come on. Just don't seem to ever work on you.
Come on, little chicken.
Well, I got my mojo working. Well, I got my mojo working. Ooh, I got my mojo working. Well, I got my mojo working. Well, I got my mojo working, but it just don't ever seem to work on you. Wait.
Mr. Jason Sepulvado.
Thank you. What a pleasure. I love you, baby. I love you. Yeah. I'm telling you.
All right, well, let's slow it down a little bit. We can do another one? I do, yeah. I don't know if my brother Ken Jacobs is out there listening or not. He might be, but if he is, I'm going to do this one for him because it's one of his favorites.
Made me feel so bad on account of my woman done run off with another man. Kind of like taking eyesight for the blind. Money from the poor. That woman done slipped off with my good loving. And she walked on out my door, and it sure now got cold after the rain fell. Not from the sky, no, baby, but from my eyes. Tell me just what makes a man feel this way, like a river without its water, night without its day. And you know it sure enough got cold after the rain fell. Not from the sky, no, darling, from my, play it pretty for me, Jason. You know when the rain it begins to fall, with thunderbolts and lightning, and the wind and it begins to blow, your worries just superficial, 'cause you slept on through the night. But you know that stormy weather makes you wonder if everything's alright. You know, and that sure enough got cold after the rain fell. Not from the sky, no, from mine. And it sure enough got cold after the rain fell. Not from the sky, no, from mine. Some old ZZ Top for you. Thank you. just knocked out. We heard about the sellout. You gotta get an album out. You owe it to the people. We're so happy we can hardly count. Everybody else is just green. Have you seen the charts? It's a hell of a start. It could be made into a monster if you all pull together as a team. And did they tell you the name of the game? What? They call it riding the gravy train. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Pink Floyd for you.
Oh, wow. All right. Okay. So, this is good. This is good. I am going to suggest to those of you that are watching or checking in now or later, this always stays, I don't know how long, but I know it stays on our Facebook page, the St. Luke's Facebook page, as a recording. If you want to share this with somebody, you can share the link, and they can find the recording of this service as well as others. I encourage you to do that. The more exposure we have of this ministry during this particular time, I think the better, certainly. But be that as it may, I want to take full advantage of the opportunity that we have to share what we do here. I will admit to my growing impatience that we might be able to be together again in this room and feel the energy of our spirits gathered in one place. That's what we experience when we are together on a Friday night, when we're here in the room together. But it's also something that God accommodates in our being at home and being away from each other, because our spirits still are gathered in the way that they are gathered, which is a mystery to me, but nonetheless a real thing. So we do take a few moments every week, and it's a time when even the universal language of music we set aside for the first language of heaven, which is silence itself. So we will take a few moments of silence. And as we take that time, in whatever way you make your conscious contact with the God of your understanding, in whatever way you are connected with that universal conspiracy, that spirit of grace that gathers us all and blesses us all, offer up what is on your heart, what's on your mind. And I would ask that you remember some in particular. I would ask that you remember those folks that work in healthcare, those people who are face to face with the disease of coronavirus, the folks who work and fight for life and to save life, for those who are in public positions of responsibility, those who struggle within their own hearts to know what is best for all of us, what is the common good, and in what ways the health and the well-being of all of our brothers and sisters is kept and managed and improved. And I pray that all of us where we are, we would remember just the family of the human family, because this disease has affected every corner of the globe. It has affected every class of person. There is no distinction. Remember especially those folks who grieve the loss, the death of someone they loved. Remember them. And know that that which is lost cannot be restored, but it can be healed, and it can be healed, I believe, in a more profound and perhaps in a more effective way when we offer our spirits on their behalf, when we are willing to know their grief even in our own hearts. So for a few moments, let us simply be in silence. And after our time of silence, I will say the serenity prayer, and I invite you where you are, if you would, that you would join and say that prayer with me. So if you will now, in just a few moments, let us be in silence. Serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, wisdom to know the difference. Thy will, not mine, be done. I'm going to ask the band to play one more song. I will give a blessing at the end of that. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a part of this. Your spirit, your presence, your support, your prayers, it all matters. It all matters. Thank you.
Cook. Hell, I might mop the floor, but you gotta help me, baby. I can't do it all by myself. Lord, if you don't help me, darling, I have to find somebody else. Walk with me, and when I talk, you talk to me, baby. Now let help me, baby. I can't do it all by myself. You know, if you don't help me, darling, I have to find somebody else. Darling, bring me my nightshirt. You know you need to put on my morning gown. You know I don't feel much like sleeping. I feel like fooling around. night shirt. Darling, put on your morning gown. Darling, bring me my night shirt. Put on your morning gown. You know, I don't feel like much like sleeping. I feel like fooling around. But you got to help me, darling. I can't do it all by myself. You got to help me, darling. I can't do it all by myself. If you don't help me, darling, I have to find somebody else. Little Sonny Boy Williamson for you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, one more time, the Low Key Band. Yes, indeed. First time at Low Key. Man, can't wait to get a chance to come back. Jason Sepulvado. What a great job, great job, great job. Cody Lowery on the drums. Camo. I didn't see you back there. You were camouflaged. So, thanks, Cody, for being here. Chris Ellis on the bass. That is one funky bad bass man. Thank you. And also on guitar and vocals, Tony Cascio. You know, when you're given an order by the governor to stay home, do like Tony and Angie. Buy a new home. Yeah, y'all did with this thing. You and Mike and Carol O, y'all did this just right, you know, did this just right. So we are so glad that you're here and a part with us. Thanks for it. I want to offer this. This is a little familiar because it's also the Serenity Prayer. It's actually the original prayer that was written by Reinhold Niebuhr that was adapted for use for virtually 12-step programs all over the world. But this is the longer version of it. And I want to pray this as a gift and a blessing for all of us during this time. God, give us grace to accept with serenity the things that cannot be changed. Give us courage to change the things which should be changed. And give us the wisdom to distinguish the one from the other. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking as He did this sinful world as it is, not as we would have it, trusting that You will make all things right if we surrender to Your will, so that we may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with You forever in the next. Amen. God, be praised and thanked for our sobriety. Stay home, stay safe, stay sober, and may your life be joy. Amen. Yes, yes.